Let me tell you something. There's no we agree to disagree here. You are fully wrong. It's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. This is insane. You think it's women's fault?
Yeah, dude, we get paid just as much. We're just as powerful. Cut it out.
All right, you're practicing for Rogan very clearly. You're gonna do a great job on Kill Tony with these talking points. This is really interesting because you're actually saying radical feminism with Kill Tony vocabulary right now. It's like a fascinating. I'm having a hard time even because we do agree, but you're throwing these like anti-cancel culture buzzwords out. You have gotten like Austin trans brain, like you know what I mean. Like it really is at the top of your head.
Podcast Cringe Hall of Famer Stavros Halkias is picking up where he left off after his sabbatical over on Two Bears One Cave, where he absolutely destroyed Tom and Bert's podcast over a 6-week period, leaving them with a dead corpse to deal with when they got back. Seriously, take a look at the view count since Tom and Bert got back. It's literally less than half what Stavvy and Chrissy were getting over the summer. I cannot believe they actually destroyed Two Bears One Cave, and they got paid to do it. But in case you haven't been paying attention, 2025 has been the year that comedians have finally started coming out of the closet and openly calling out the Austin comedy scene for being a bunch of hypocritical, hacky snowflakes. I've been covering the fallout on this channel and my main one, Podcast Cringe, and in these last few months, we've actually seen Rogan and Hinchcliffe cracking under the pressure of all the criticism. We saw how Tony directly addressed the Mark Maron beef on Legion of Skanks, where he accused Mark of fishing for publicity by calling out him and Rogan. That's right, the queen of fake cancel culture called out another comedian for drama farming. Rogan, on the other hand, has been slowly imploding over the last few months as he struggles to cope with the growing backlash against the Austin comedy scene, which he created. Like I said, though, the cherry on top was the complete destruction of Two Bears One Cave by Chrissy and Stavvy, and it looks like our boy isn't holding back anymore. Just yesterday, he hosted Jordan Peterson's love child, Jordan Jensen, on Stavvy's World, and from the word go, she went straight into her prepared talking points, straight out of the Austin comedy starter pack.
My friend's ex, not ex, just dude she was talking, whatever. Mm-hmm. He was like, I've the tranny, right?
Okay,
which is crazy.
Yeah, he said that. You're quoting
He said
him.
that. He's like the Southern guy, which tranny to me is drag, in my opinion.
No.
Transvestite.
It's a slur for
yeah, but it's not transgender.
Person. Yes, it is.
If you transition fully, you're not really a tranny anymore.
Okay,
you know
stop saying it.
Sorry. So then, she's got a whole vagina and tits.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but it was weird because because it used to be a penis, so it's still gay. And it made me think like,
I don't think it is gay. I mean, it's something weird. It's not like, it's not the norm. I mean, if I think it's closer to straight than gay at that point, if you've had all the surgeries. That's what I'm saying.
It's so, and it was like I got plastic surgery to remove all this extra skin because I used to be super fat.
Right, you used to be fat as hell. We've
and
covered
that's
that.
like if somebody me and they were like, yeah, she just had the skin hitting me in the face the whole time. And they were like, really? And they were like, no, she got it cut off, but it was there. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. I think I'm more queer than that person.
You're not.
I am a lesbian
you're not.
having sex with small men.
No, okay, you're not at all. You're a straight woman. You're a straight woman who's been through...
Barely.
In that, yes. I mean, listen.
It's harder
until
to be that.
You just take the plunge and stop flirting, until you stop sort of doing this whole, oh, I'm so gay, but I'm not, wink, 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 bullshit. You're still straight. But I do think if you're trans, you're still queer in society.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's where I land. You really have gotten like Austin trans brain, like you know what I mean. Like it really is at the top of your head.
No, because
you immediately brought it up as soon as the podcast started.
No, because this just happened where my friend said that her guy.
Right.
And I'm really interested in it because sometimes I get like I'm jealous of like Robbie Hoffman for just cutting her tits off and still being a woman. That's like the coolest thing.
Right.
I want to do that so bad.
What's stopping you?
Because I need them for sexual capital. Okay. I strap them down as much as I can. Because I still date men.
Opening a comedy podcast in 2025 with a trans story and then trying to turn it into a bit is probably one of the most hacky things you can do. And the thing is, throughout this whole podcast, Stavvy wasn't necessarily disagreeing with her. I mean, he did straight out disagree with her on a couple of things, but his point was, why the fuck are we talking about this? That's why he called her out for starting the podcast with that story and said she really does have Austin trans brain. Now I can't wait for Bert Kreischer and Brendan Schaub to proudly officially announced that they too have Austin trans brain, you know, just to let tall and funny scientist Joe Rogan know that they're still carrying the torch for him, even though he's actively trying to distance himself from both of them. But here we are yet again with another female comedian who can't stop talking about the same shit. Like, seriously, how hard is it? Instead of modeling their comedy act off of Nikki Glaser, they're trying to be the next Eliza Schlesenberger, whatever the fuck her name is. You know who I'm talking about. The one who bombed on JRE and never recovered. They're either trying to be hot or coping with being ugly.
You know what I don't like? When women compliment you, it's this all-encompassing, amazing compliment that you can't like believe. Like they'll be like, I like your whole essence. But if a man compliments you, it means so much more because it's so hard for men to think of like a man once said that I had small pores, and I think about that every day.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like that's like gold to me.
I think that's again more about how much you value a man's approval.
So yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily
I do not respect women.
Well, yeah. I don't think it's necessarily that their compliments mean more. You know, because to me,
respect women when they start acting right. When they start, I'm serious, dude. What is going on with women? Why are they doing this?
What are they doing? What are you
lip
talking
fillers.
about?
I want women lip fillers.
Plastic surgery.
Comedians who are our face is supposed to be able to go like this, and they're going, "Oh, I'm funny." You're not. You can't see your weird face. You're not funny. Get out of the business and become an actress. You dumb.
That is the thing. I mean, I'm sorry, we're in entertainment, unfortunately, and we're in the lowest part of entertainment. So people who fail out of everything else end up here. We're sort of like after you clean your sink and you see all the debris that's in the little strainer. Yeah. That's stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
People got accused of.
That's why.
Now they're selling out the funny bone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you wanted to be a model. You're not good enough. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
You're doing a residency at the Stand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but that you have to understand that's
weak at the creek.
That's who we are. That's what this is.
Yeah. But accept it and stop trying to be hot. We're not supposed to be hot.
That is the most perfect description I've ever heard of the stand-up comedy scene. They're the bottom of the barrel. And then there's the Austin comedy scene, which represents the underside of the barrel where all the maggots live. That sentence from Stavvy should be ratified into an oath that all comedians have to sign and declare before they release their first comedy special. And it's so true. Whenever there's a marketable, semi-good-looking comedian with a relatively clean sheet, they eventually make their way into Hollywood and leave stand-up comedy behind. Except for Tom and Bert, who have actively been trying to buy their way into Hollywood for the last 5 years. Bert Kreischer is the only person in the world who had an entire movie made about him, but isn't allowed to talk about it for legal reasons. That has to be one of the sweetest ironies in history. It's like Brendan Schaub doing an episode of JRE that never gets aired, and only him, Rogan, and Jamie know about it. But it seems like every week now, these top 250 Austin comedy assassins are catching strays, even when they're not the subject of conversation.
I just think women in general, with the trying to look like babies and then being against is crazy to me.
Okay.
They're carrying around fucking gigapets and keychains and being like, Epstein's a monster.
I mean, it's a real different thing to f a grown woman
who is dressing like a baby and has a little.
To f a child, yes.
Yeah. Jordan, I have my vape. I have my little breast milk flavored vape.
Let me just say yes. Like, you have no argument whatsoever. I'm not going to say what they're doing isn't weird.
They're ripping their pubic hair out.
And again, I'm not saying that like having an infantilization thing isn't its own problem. You can still criticize even if you dress like a baby, I would say.
I don't agree.
Well, let me tell you something. There's no agree to disagree here. You are fully wrong. It's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. What do you mean? If I dress like
a baby and I go out and I try and suck men's
You're grown. By the way, no one's going to be like, I thought she was 12. They're going to be like, well, this dumb
not me.
This 30-year-old bitch. Yeah, but like they're not going to be duped. You won't be duping a into you. You'll be a guy who's got a different sexual hang-up that is much better for society than being a child predator. I think what you're saying, you're actually saying something that could be positive, but you're couching it in very negative,
imagine if you woke up tomorrow
terms.
And you were a woman.
You're saying accept. Yeah, it's harder to be a woman.
It's not hard. You'd wake up and all the women around you would be like, ew, why are you just wearing your regular face today? And you'd be like, because it's my face. And they'd be like, you have to put mush on it and lots of stuff on it. And you'd be like, but it's my face. You have to be.
That's hard.
That's what I'm saying. Hard. It's stupid. It's our fault. Women can stop. Women can stop.
It's
stop
really not. Holy this is insane. You think it's women's fault?
Yeah, dude, we get paid just as much. We're just as powerful. Cut it out.
All right, you're practicing for Rogan very clearly. You're gonna do a great job on Kill Tony with these talking points.
Earlier on in the podcast, she said that she's been booked to go on Rogan. I don't know if she's talking shit or if she's actually going to be on there, but if she does, Stavvy is 100% correct. The conversation will definitely end up going down the same road, but instead of getting pushback like she did from Stavvy, Rogan will eat it up and tell her she's on the right track. Next minute, she'll be a guest panelist on Kill Tony, then she'll do a residency at the Comedy Mothership. I mean, just take a look at the description for her comedy special debut on Netflix, which dropped today. In her hilarious debut special, Jensen delivers unapologetic takes on hooking up, failing at femininity, spiraling with ADHD, and more. Fuck me dead. I cannot wait not to watch that. The only thing left for her to do now is talk about her period.
I think every woman, when they have their period, should have 2 little red blood stripes. None of this hiding it anymore. No more.
I'm with you on all this stuff.
Feminism is dead, dude.
But what you're talking about is a form of feminism. You're talking about.
I want it to come back.
Okay.
Remember hairy armpits? Now it's unacceptable.
I don't think that's true.
It's okay in Bushwick, but it's not cool.
Yeah, so it's fine. I'm on record. That's
fine. Yeah, but it's very rare to see it on like an actual empowered woman. It's on like a vegan trans who has like non-binary cats or whatever.
This is really interesting because you're actually saying radical feminism with Kill Tony vocabulary right now. It's like a fascinating. I'm having a hard time even because we do agree, but you're throwing these like anti-cancel culture buzzwords out.
There's a way to be.
It's like how Ian is embarrassed of being gay, so he pretends to be Republican. You're doing this. Yeah. You're embarrassed to be a feminist, so you're pretending to be Republican right now.
In the space of a 30-minute segment on this episode of his podcast, Stavvy managed to cover all the major criticisms of Rogan and Hinchcliffe's Austin comedy frontier. First, there was the obsession with trans stories from the get-go. Then there was the self-righteous, pseudo-intellectual, low-effort feminist, not feminist comedian cope from a woman who wants to be hot but also loves being ugly, all the while she's littering her narrative with anti-cancel culture buzzwords to signal that she's ready for a seat in the Mothership green room. This is the roadmap to the Mothership via Kill Tony appearance, topped off with a Netflix special featuring jokes that were already stale by 2014. And the whole time, Stavvy is just sitting there, laughing and shitting on her while pushing back. This was the perfect snapshot of where comedy is in 2025. This is exactly why Joe Rogan's JRE numbers are less than a quarter of what they used to be a couple of years ago, and why stand-up comedy ticket sales are dropping and only the big names are still managing to get by. I recently covered Chrissy and Yanis's appearance on Flagrant, where they were complaining about having to cancel shows due to poor ticket sales, and even Andrew Schulz himself admitted that the comedy bubble was bursting and it's getting harder to sell tickets. By the way, the whole anti-woke, anti-PC, anti-cancel culture, pro-free speech narrative that Rogan and Hinchcliffe keep pushing could not be further from the truth. I've been talking about this over on Patreon, where I exposed Tony and Red Band for trying to hide their London show from everyone after it was a complete flop, and also how diversity is ruining Kill Tony. The whole merit-based system that they preach is complete bullshit. So make sure you check out the link in the description to my Patreon if you're interested in seeing my breakdowns of Kill Tony, as well as my comedy special reviews. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and hit the like button to support the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.